Hi. So I just wanted to make my response for our two videos that we watched about um, the magic washing machine and our century's greatest injustice, one by Hans Rosling and Sheryl WuDunn, respectively. I just wanted to start with the washing machine one. I think it's called the magic washing machine. And he talks about his mom and when she first got her first washing machine and her reaction to it and how big of a deal it was. Um, Before she just had to, do it how she could, hand wash, use a washboard, however you can manage to do it. And then whenever they got the washing machine, it was such a big deal. They had grandma come over to like check it out and everything. And it's just, I don't know, I feel like we don't think about it as that amazing anymore. We just throw our clothes in, whatever. Um, so it's really cool to see, that he is actually seeing both sides of it. Um, because when you really think about it, if we didn't have a washing machine, that would completely change our lives. Um, and I don't think that we in America, the people that are blessed with things like that, think of, I guess, how life could be without it, and that other people don't actually have that luxury. And so he goes to talk about and kind of put into your mind that it really is a big deal that other people don't have it, and it's the majority of people. Um, so he talks about how there's 7 billion different people or people in the world. 2 billion of those are under the poverty line, and only 2 billion are over the what he calls the wash line, or people that would be able to afford a washing machine. Um, and then he talks about the energy that the people use in compared to, or with respect to, their income levels. And the richest people are the people that use the most energy, and it's by a long shot. And so it kind of makes sense because those are the people that have washing machines and computers and things like that. But then he talks about how we really want to help people move up in income levels. But as they do, they're going to start to use more energy, and he's worried about us using too much. Because the richer you become, the more energy you use. And eventually, if everyone's has a washing machine and has that better income level, life will be better, but there will be a lot of energy consumed. Um, and so he talks about how we could cut that down and go green and stuff like that. But really, I don't know, it might sound kind of bad, but I respect the environment and I think we should take care of it. But I think I'd rather use more energy than not have people have those kinds of things. I don't think we're going to run out anytime soon. I think that we'll be just fine. The world's not going to last forever, but we're not either. Like, I don't know. I think the second coming will come before we run out of energy. And it's not really something we should worry as strong about, and we should try harder to get people to have washing machines and things like that, and not worry so much about the energy. And just my personal opinion. But he talks about one of the blessings of a washing machine, and that it gives you so much more time in your day. When you, I don't know, I feel like sometimes I'll be like, oh, I have to wait a whole hour before my clothes are clean, and I'm just like, oh, that's so long. But really, you think about it, you put them in, you put in the soap, you shut the door, you run it, and then you can walk away. You're there for maybe 2 to 5 minutes, like the whole process, like switching it, drying it, like it's really not a big deal out of your day. But whenever you're actually using a washboard and things like that, it's physical labor the entire time. And you have to take hours and hours out of your day, not just 5 minutes. So I think it would make a great improvement, and that it would really be a nice thing to see spreading in more of the world. And then the second video was Sheryl WuDunn's Our Century's Greatest Injustice. And she talks about gender inequality and how it's actually the biggest problem, and how people don't focus on it like they should, and they kind of write it off and think it's not a big deal. But it really is, and it's something that we need to be aware of and try to fix and do whatever we can to make that better. And so she starts that by talking about a girl in China named Dai Manju, and how she was a 13-year-old girl that would walk to school every day, and she was the brightest pupil in her class, and she just really loved school. And her commute was a 2-hour trip one way, and she didn't care. She wanted to make it because she thought it was important. But her parents didn't really see the value in her education. They're like, you're just going to work in the rice fields anyway when you grow up, and it doesn't really matter that you have any knowledge, and we just don't see a point in you going to school. And then it came to a point where it was time to pay the school fees, and their $13 school fees were too much for them. So they tried to pull her out of school because they just couldn't afford it. And so this story was put in Time magazine, and they got a bunch of donations. And those donations not only helped that one girl, but was able to help the school and many other girls, and able to give them the opportunity to go to school. And it kind of just goes to show that making people more aware can really make a difference, and one person's story can touch several people's lives. And how we shouldn't just sit back and just let other things happen, but we should take the steps that we can to help people out and donate what we can, and I don't know, just help in any way. And then she also talks about women inequality as a whole, not just as far as education. And she talks about women's discrimination. And most people, when they think about if there's more girls or guys in the world, they think that there's more girls, and that's just a common thought. But actually, there are more guys in the world, but the reason people think that is because there are 60 to 100 million girls missing in the current population, and that's because many of them die when they're children or are discriminated to death, and people don't know about it. They're not told that, hey, this girl was raped and murdered and abused and things like that, and people just don't know. And so that they think that these girls are fine and don't take any care to try to fix it, and end up dying and don't get accounted for. And so she talks about how important women really are, and if we educate them and put them in the labor force, it would help poverty, it would help the whole economy, and just better the world in a lot of ways, and how we need to not write women off as inferior and really notice their potential. So I really like these two videos and how eye-opening they are.